Carla Connor, Allison King, is left seeking answers in Coronation Street next week when Lisa Swain, Vicky Myers, fails to act after witnessing a crime. Adi Alahan, Adam Hussein, is caught off guard when a masked burglar makes a run from the corner shop, leaving him unable to do much but shout after him. However, as the robber runs past Carla and Lisa, the detective sergeant freezes, leaving Carla puzzled by her lack of action. Lisa has always been one to throw herself straight into the action, even if that means risking her own safety, so her sudden reluctance to get involved sets off alarm bells for Carla. Later, the factory boss quizzes her girlfriend, wanting to know why she let the criminal run off and didn't arrest him. When Lisa refuses to engage in the conversation, Carla is left feeling troubled. Meanwhile, Adi explains to Asha Alahan, Tanisha Gori, that the burglar threatened him with a wrench and forced him to empty the safe. Asha is quick to comfort her brother and assure him that he was the victim of a crime and it wasn't his fault. However, when Adi recounts the tale to PC Jess and points out that, on the bright side, their insured, Bernie Winter, Jane Hazelgrove, clocks his shifty behavior. Is there more to the story than Adi is letting on? Things are about to get even more complicated for the aspiring businessman when Dev Alahan, Jimmy Harkishan, bursts in, keen to know what he's missed. Will Adi tell him about the break-in, or try to make out like everything is fine? It was supposed to be a routine afternoon on the cobbles. Carla Connor, having just finalized a new production batch at Underworld, detoured past Shoe Boutique to pick up a coffee from Rogers in the Rain kiosk. Lisa Swain, ever punctilious and drawn by the scent of freshly ground espresso, joined her for a quiet moment before returning to the station. At precisely 3:17 p.m., the peace was shattered. Adi Alahan, Adam Hussein, working behind the counter at Speed Doll's corner shop on the opposite side of the street, squinted as a masked figure burst through the door, wrench in hand. Time slowed. Customers ducked for cover. The air filled with the hiss of the burglar's demands. Adi froze, then, urged by a flash of survival instinct, emptied the till while the intruder barked threats of worse harm. Moments later, the robber bolted out of the shop, legs pumping, a bulging canvas sack swinging at his side. A scream tore from Carla's lips as she raced forward, only to skid to a halt when she spotted Lisa standing stock still on the pavement, mouth agape, eyes fixed on the fleeing figure, but no siren, no shout of stop, no move to give chase. It was as if her DS badge had been stripped from her coat in that instant. "Lisa!" Carla cried, reaching for her partner's arm. But Lisa neither looked nor moved. The burglar rounded the corner and was gone. Carla spun to confront her, questioning the detective's inaction, but Lisa's face was a mask of denial and something darker, hesitation. Before delving into the fault lines exposed by her passivity, it's worth remembering how Lisa Swain arrived on our screens and why her silence cut so deeply for viewers and for Carla alike. Introduced in 2021 as the lead investigator into the brutal attacks on Maynard Lucas and Seb Franklin, D.S. Swain was initially a procedural cog, efficient, unemotional, and resolute. After Seb's tragic death, she resurfaced occasionally to lock up joyriders, probe petty crime, and maintain the police presence that's a signature of Weatherfield verisimilitude. Her role grew organically when producers decided to explore her private life, turning the unsmiling copper into a sympathetic figure haunted by loss. Central to Lisa's humanity is the memory of her wife, Becky Swain, also a serving officer whose death on duty left Lisa bereft and isolated. Flashbacks revealed a loving partnership where moments of domestic bliss, lazy Sunday lie-ins, shared laughter over coffee, altogether contrasted with the rigidity of police work. Yet whispers of an internal affairs investigation into Becky's conduct hung over Lisa like a storm cloud, offering tantalizing filling in the blanks of a mystery that only gets murkier as new storylines unfold. The catalyst for Lissa's elevation from background detective to principal player came in early 2024, when her investigation into the disappearance of teenager Lauren Bolton brought her into prolonged contact with factory manager Carla Connor. From mutual respect sprang late-night stakeouts, shared lunches in the Yard Cafe, and eventually a steamy under-the-stairs confession of long-suppressed feelings. Their romance, poised between relief, joy, and lingering grief, resonated with viewers craving authentic LGBT+ representation in a mainstream soap. Back on the street, Carla's disbelief turned to anger as she confronted Lisa. "You're a cop, for crying out loud. You just watched the scumbag run off." Her voice, even through the multicover of passersby, crackled with incredulity. But Lisa averted her eyes. The DS's usual calm was replaced by a jittery self-consciousness. Her usual crisp command of procedure evaporated. When Carla insisted on knowing why no arrest had been made, Lisa tightened her lips. "He was gone," she murmured, defensive. "DNA and CCTV. We'll have him." But Carla's frustration boiled over. "That's not the point. You didn't even try. What if someone else had been hurt? What if that was someone you loved?" Carla, still unaccustomed to vulnerability in matters of the heart, struggled to phrase the question on her lips. Was Lisa hesitant because this hit too close to home? The ambiguity of the answer only widened the rift between them. Later that day, Carla accompanied Adi back to the station to give his statement. Adi, stony-faced and visibly shaken, recounted the moment the burglar leveled a metal wrench at him. "He said he'd break every bone in me if I didn't open the safe. I thought I'd die." Asha Allahan, Tanisha Gori, who joined her brother for moral support, deflected his guilt with maternal warmth. "You did what you had to, brother. We're insured. Just breathe." Yet PC Jess, a recurring constable, watched Adi's nervous glances, wondering if the boy's debilitating anxiety masked a darker truth, perhaps a cover-up, or an inside job. Bernie Winter, Jane Hazelgrove, ever the sweet but skeptical barmaid, noticed the way Adi's eyes flickered whenever Lisa approached the Allahan statement. "Insurance?" she murmured to Eileen Grimshaw later that evening at Roy's Rolls. "He looked shifty when he mentioned it, too nonchalant. Insurance doesn't make you look that calm." Coronation Street thrives on secondary storylines that entwine with the main narrative, and Adi's half-told tale begins to hook viewers. Could the Allahans have staged the robbery? Has Adi found himself cornered by mounting debts? Or is Katie's insurance forgery saga of 5 years ago about to echo once more, only this time with more serious stakes? Production insiders whisper that subsequent scenes show Adi trapped in his apartment, phone pressed to his ear as he pleads with an unseen figure for more time. Meanwhile, Lissa's colleagues file away reports that seem to contradict Adi's own account. When we see Lisa later at home, glancing at old photos of herself and Becky, her reflection in the window is haunted. Is she bending her professional ethics to shield Carla's friend? Or is something far darker stirring? Lisa's refusal to engage with Carla's blunt questioning hints at deeper conflict. A seasoned officer, she has never shirked danger, from breaking up street brawls to chasing down joyriders. Her courage is well established. So what stopped her this time? Some fans suspect that witnessing violent crime firsthand reopened old wounds. The sight of Adi cornered with a wrench may have triggered post-traumatic stress from Becky's fatal incident. In flashback sequences, Becky's demise was marked by wrench-like brutality. Lisa's own culpability, she was off duty that day, could fuel guilt so crippling that action freezes her in place. Alternatively, Lisa could be wrestling with an ethical dilemma. The Allahans are longtime Weatherfield fixtures. Dev Allahan, Jimmy Harkishin, Adi's father, has invested heavily in community initiatives. If Lisa pursued the case too aggressively, she could unravel innocent reputations. Is she protecting a valued neighbor? And if so, does she risk Carla's ire by placing community diplomacy above the letter of the law? Another theory channels the shadow of Becky's corruption probe. If Becky's former colleagues, remaining unsanctioned, are operating in Weatherfield under assumed identities, Lisa might have recognized the masked burglar as an old accomplice or informant. Arresting him could open a Pandora's box that drags Becky's legacy into the headlines, jeopardizing Lisa's badge and peace of mind.